Welcome back to OpenLine. I have Mark Chalos here with me and Richard Mason. Thank you, gentlemen, for stopping by to talk about the lawsuits filed by Davidson County and many other cities and counties in Tennessee and really across the nation against opioid manufacturers and distributors. Some great calls have come in. Thank you for that. We always enjoy opening up this conversation. We're going to get to those calls. We have Lucy, who's been holding quite a while. Hi, Lucy.
Hey, y'all.
Hi. Go ahead with your question or comment. What's up?
Well, I've got kind of a two-part comment,
Okay.
basically referencing to the earlier caller, Dale. What you gentlemen are talking about is civil litigation. For some reason in this country, greed is not a crime. It's a morality issue in the fact that for almost 40 years now, greed has become good. And if you're not greedy, then something's wrong with you. But what he's talking about is the illegal drugs that supplement this pharmaceutical madness that's been going on for about 25 years. So let me put it to you this way. If you went and robbed banks and the die pack went off every time you robbed the bank, you couldn't spend the money. So therefore, it wouldn't be worthwhile to go rob the bank. You couldn't make any money off of it. You couldn't use the money. Until we stop drug money laundering in this country, drugs, this problem here will never go away. We just keep treating all the symptoms to it. We're not really getting down to the problem. Thank you for listening.
Lucy, thank you for being part of the show as always. And you all have said, and it's worth saying again, this all comes down to money. It comes down to profits, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lucy makes a great point. I mean, what we see with these corporations is this is the language they speak. They speak dollars and cents. Right. And when they're looking at their books, they see they've got, you know, they're making 67 billion, 68 billion, 70 billion. That makes them happy, and that's the language they speak, and that's the only language they speak.
But the other point you made too, that it's a margin game. So if I've got pennies in a drug that's selling for $20, $30, or $50, just imagine what that margin is. And so all that's profit.
Yeah.
So this is not, we're not talking about a small amount of money. We're talking about people that have made billions and multi-billions over a number of years, not just, this is not just starting. I mean, I think people are just starting to notice what's going on, but they've been making money a long, long time.
Yeah. Let's hop back to the lines. Let's talk to Brian. Brian, thanks for your patience.
Yeah, both these guys are great. They're both brilliant. I love the green tie and the other guy with the little hair thing. These guys are smart, man. I'm telling you, everybody knows that pills are bad. I never take nothing stronger than aspirin. Ask Nick Maris. And I love you guys in NewsChannel 5. And the lady, your arm thing with the pink, it used to be blue, and I'm concerned about that. I'm sad.
No, don't be sad. I'll be fine,
I
Brian.
make sure you're fine, though, because you love you so much and stuff, you know.
That's right, Brian. Thank you for your call tonight. You always put a smile on my face. I'm fine. I'm fine. Hopefully this cast is coming off in a few more weeks, and it'll be just a memory of 2018. But thank you, Brian. Okay, let's go to David. If I can read my own hand. Oh, nope, that's not David. Hi, David.
Hey, y'all, thanks for taking my call.
You betcha.
Forgive my ignorance about all this. It looks like to me you got people that are addicted to these things, and somebody needs to straighten me out, I guess, on this. You're blaming the pharmaceuticals for people being addicted to something on a choice that they made to do this. Okay, now that's just my opinion. It's a choice that they made. They get the stuff from the doctor. They go out and they're short on money. They sell it on the street, which it should be against the law anyway, but I guess it is.
It is, yeah.
But I mean, I just don't understand. The pharmaceuticals are huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar thing. I mean, I've always said America is the most overfed, over-medicated country on the face of the earth, you know, and a lot of this stuff isn't even necessary. But for to sue the pharmaceuticals because these people get hooked on this stuff you know, somebody's going to have to straighten me out and make me understand this. That's just a comment. And
I think it's a very fair comment, David. I think, no, thank you. David, I think it's a very fair comment because I think a lot of people feel this way, that this is a choice. You are taking this pill, you are putting it in your mouth, and you're doing it probably several times a day.
Yeah. I'm gonna let, but here's a number. Just look at this number. 4% of the world's we represent, in 2010, we represented, America represented 4% of the world's population.
Okay.
But we consume 80% of the global opioid supply.
Did you say 80?
80%.
Wow.
And 99% of the world's hydrocodone supply.
Wow.
So, and I understand what you're saying, that, oh, it's you're making a choice. But some of this is not choice driven. You know, drugs are designed to alleviate something.
Sure.
And these are designed to alleviate pain. Now,
there's a chemical reaction in your body.
and that's really what you really got to look at that. And while I may not be subject to, you know, that addiction, somebody else might. And so we can't just say, well, everybody had their choice. It's a choice. Nobody, I don't believe anybody would choose to be addicted to anything. I think some of that we have to look at, are there some psychological issues, are there other kinds of things that contribute to it? But we do know that if you look at the material that's becoming available, that these pharmaceutical companies know, they know that you're going to, some people are going to be addicted to these drugs. And you know, sometimes in the big corporate America, they understand that and they just use that as sort of, well, that's just the cost of doing business. And to me, a life is more important than the cost of doing business. But you may want to.
David makes a great point. Everyone has to play by the rules. People taking the medication have to play by the rules. If they sell these drugs on the street, they should be held accountable for that if they break the laws. But you have to step back. The pharmaceutical companies undertook a very long-planned, long-executed scheme to sell these drugs and market them so that they knew people who didn't need them would get them. And the distributors had an obligation under federal law and state laws to report suspicious orders. In other words, not to supply enough prescriptions so that every man, woman, or child could have 1.3 prescriptions like we saw in Tennessee. And in other states, it's as bad, in some cases worse. So everybody has to play by the rules. And just because you're a billion-dollar corporation, and just because you have friends in Washington and friends in the legislature in Nashville, doesn't mean that you are exempt from the rules. Doesn't mean you can break the rules and not be held accountable. So David is right. Everyone along the way should be held accountable. Anyone who breaks the rules should be held accountable.
Very good. Okay, we're going to take a break on that point. When we come back, we will wrap things up. And if you have a friend, a family member, a coworker who is addicted and needs help, we're going to give you that number. So go ahead and grab a piece of paper and pen. We're coming right back.